Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police channel. To our loyal viewers, subscribers and Patreon member. At the channel, we are a group of law-abiding citizens who believe in the rule of law and respect the rights of every citizen, but not the ones who do not subscribe to such behavior. We do believe in and support preemptive strikes because they save lives. This is a logical conclusion because preemptive strikes save lives and prevent the further loss of lives. We are all about saving lives at this channel. We at the channel aid criminals with a passion and do not want them over here. We do not want your views, your subscriptions, your likes or your comments. Please go elsewhere where the red carpet is waiting for you. Over here, we want you to go to prison or the departure lounge at Madden. Moving on to today's video. If you have reached this far, this is part 2 of this 2-part series, and you're looking at the text that I had posted December 6, 2025. And if you notice, the names that are highlighted. You see the man. We're talking about intelligence, and intelligence is not evidence. Intelligence is just information that leads to information and leads to evidence. As we said before, and we say again, and we never say it before, the cell phone is a two-way radio. The reason why we're saying that, those of you who have been following the channel for a long time would have heard the guy from Haiti, but goes by the name of Guy Philippe. Yeah, this was the guy that was in Jamaica to kill our Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Not even the Jamaican police, our intelligence, had that information that this man was in Jamaica to kill Prime Minister Andrew Holness. We didn't even receive a thanks from the police department itself, because guess what? They are more or less they feel that we had upstaged them and embarrassed them along with people from the Jamaica Defense Force, because we had released information that it should be them that releasing it or having such information. But based on where I'm sitting, I'm able to access certain things. So I was able to release the recording of this man in Jamaica, in Warwick Hill. The Jamaican Constabulary Force or Jamaica Defense Force did not know that this man was in Warwick Hill. So in time we tell people that their phone is a two-way radio. Even the phone battery is dead, it's still a radio. That is why they call it smartphone. You cannot take out the battery. Even if it is dead, the phone still work, the mic. So anything that you're discussing, others can hear. We're not going to tell people where we get our information from and our source. And you can see it right there. As we said before, I warned them 7 months earlier. But the reason why they didn't, because the same man, Kevin Tiliba Roberts, is friends with these police officers too. I don't know how them do it, how them claim say them and this man here, a brother and G, but that's how money is, People who love money are like whores. Whores are women who sleep with anybody. And if them even have sore foot, because once them get paid, I saw it go with whore. But when people have loyalty to a friend or loyalty to anything, them stick to the end. And you can corrupt them in any way to get them betray them friend. That's how loyalty works. But some people don't have not any. Some people it's all about what's in it for me. So if they had love and respect Jerome, they would have called Chris Porter. Now this is we told same thing we did with Rifle when we received the information. Yes, we tell Rocky. People who come from all over know we attack. Rocky, police Rocky. Yeah, tell Fall. And we tell him what happened to him and them thing there. That was after BT. And then after Fall dead, we tell Rocky again and Bobby. We tell one of the British say they might kill him. Him tell him say me an informer and him a bad man and him can't take care of himself. And where is he now? So anytime we get the information and things, we pass it on. As we say over here, the Jamaica Young Police channel is all about saving life. Some people that say, so why you not try to save Jerome's life? Because murder, murder. If we know something, that means that we're not fulfill our responsibility as we're supposed to. Our job is all about to save life. Not to take life or set up, you understand? But we just tell people as it is. Just the same way how Vibes Cartel, in case you do not know, Vibes Cartel, Chronic Law, and Popcorn, the three of them were planning to kill Isaiah Leng. You see what happened to Chronic Law? He's in prison right now in America. When we had released that video that they want to kill Isaiah Leng, that was coming from prison, Jamaican prison, when Vibes Cartel in prison. And people were wanting to know that. When the information had reached back to even Squad 6 and all of them, then decide to kill the three men them. Kill them. Because to them is one of the men leak the information that they were going to kill Isaiah Leng. That's how brazen criminals are. We tell us that the cell phone is a two-way radio. If you do good, God will follow you. So this is part 2 of this 2-part series. So you see it for yourself. You can screenshot it. You can send it to your mama, your papa. And that is where it's coming from. Kevin Tiliba Roberts is not the only person involved in the killing of Jerome, Cunningham, and Cat. We're going to tell you the person behind it. And we'll tell you, say, all of this has come from 2 persons who fund the campaign of a PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization politician, goes by the name of Julius Jess. Kevin Tiliba Roberts and the other man. We don't call the other man, because the other man is the one who have people tell other people, say, a Mexican kill Jerome. Them try to muddy your water. I can't buy me and them thing there. I can't use me. Because I am not be willing to any guy. Money is not, I don't do things because the motive is money. I don't do that, I don't work that way. If I was that kind of person, I would be friends with all kind of people, all kind of corrobunkers and dirty bunkers when me know when me and them grow up. Me never work them way there. Me have even family when they talk to me because I am the kind of person. See all people from jungle. I'm going to make a year. You hear people from jungle call me traitor and say me a labor right. I'm not a labor right friend. That's the kind of man I am. So you watch, you listen, and you decide. Be careful who you call your friend. That's all I can tell you. Police are not police, civilian are not civilian. This in 2026, different era. Money, X out, friendship, that relationship where you have. Be careful, man. You understand? I just saw it go. A genuine friendship is built on trust. Transactional friendship is different. Transactional friendship hacks. This is what, So enough time you think say young people are friends, just listen, Transactional relationships hacks. What can I gain? No, him dead and gone. And them a ball and them thing there. Yeah, them vex, them feel the same dead and them thing there, but what? That the money tree, the debt dry up. But if they were looking out for him, and if they had just even make one call, I could have educated them more about who was behind that, apart from Kevin Tiliba Roberts, the killing of Jerome and Bobo. I say, I empty for them, I empty the people them cooking, and then all of them things I turn on. But later on we go in night and them thing there. Who is really behind it? The people behind it. So all of them people are friends. Politics, PMP, and labor right. So transactional relationship asks, what can I gain? How does this benefit me? What happened to my interest? Them not think about him life, Them not think about one porter idiot and them thing there. Man talk to Tiliba brush it off. Then him go and talk to him. Your mother Linky. We soon tell you who, We soon tell you about the printers and this and that and all of them things. When the benefit disappear, the relationship often disappear with them. Real friends do not calculate the value of a life against convenience. Real friends do not decide whether to hack based solely and whether it benefits them. Real friends care enough to make a phone call. They would have called. Them know themselves, They care enough to send a message, but they didn't. They care enough to say, please be careful. Sometimes that one conversation can make all the difference. Them never did know, so they would have lower him and then kill him. Now think about the opposite. If someone knowingly ignores what they reasonably believe could be a credible warning because it is inconvenient, because they do not want to get involved, or because they care more about protecting themselves than checking on someone else's safety, many people would see that as falling short of the loyalty and integrity expected of a true friend. Legally, every situation depends on the facts and the applicable law. Morally, however, most of us recognize that friendship carries responsibilities. Ask yourself this. If tomorrow something happened to someone you care about, could you honestly say, I did everything I reasonably could? Those words matter. Because regret has a way of arriving after opportunities have disappeared. Life has taught me that titles do not define character. Money does not define character. Popularity does not define character. Character is revealed by the choices people make when nobody is watching. Do they choose courage? Do they choose honesty? Do they choose compassion? Or do they choose convenience? At the end of the day, integrity cannot be purchased. Loyalty cannot be rented. Trust cannot be borrowed. These are qualities that are built over years and can be lost in a single decision. So as you think about this broader issue, not about one person, but about friendship itself, I encourage you to ask, what kind of friend am I? Or what kind of friend I was to Jerome? Your friendship was all about what's in it for me. Because if you guys had care about him, at least you'd make the call. And then I could fill in the blanks. If I was able to tell you from December 6th that this was going to happen, then if you have the decency in you and you had called, I could fill in the blanks. But no. Even when people were telling lies that it was Mexicans that killed him, before the police even released that information publicly, I knew it wasn't Mexicans. As I said before and I say again, there were two persons that I served with in the military who had spoken to me, and they worked at LAPD as detectives. And they told me straight up before they released it that it was two to three black men that was involved. Would I dismiss a serious concern because I question the source, or would I encourage a person to take reasonable precautions? Would I remain silent because it was easier, or would I choose to speak up? Those are questions every one of us should answer for ourselves. Because when friendship fails, it is often not because of lack of words, it is because of lack of action. And history reminds us that sometimes the most important thing a friend can do, simple, refuse to ignore a warning. And that is what they have done. Because guess what? As you see right here, I had posted the warning right here. See it there? You see the name of the person being highlighted? That's the person who's behind it. One of the person. It's two persons who's behind the killing of Jerome. And they are responsible for the funding of Julissa Jess, the MP from St. Elizabeth. That are the same MP that I had encouraged people them to vote against Kern Spencer. And I thought that just by leaving at that would be sufficient enough. But guess what? That's one of the men who was responsible for the killing, and the other one. But we tell you the name of the other person who's involved. Not an ordinary criminal career criminal. A man who live his life. But right now he lives like a hermit, the other one. But we can tell you that Jamaica is quiet for now. Until, as I said before and I'll say again, if you're not corrupt, no one can corrupt you. Mexicans did not kill Jerome. People try to muddy the water and all kind of thing. But thanks to the LAPD to make it public, to expose liars. As them said, documents always prove liars to be liars. No one can pay me for tell lie for people, period. I don't like criminals, period, especially people who kill other people. No, not me. I am not that kind of person. As I said before and I'll say again, I am not beholden to any guy. So as we come to the end, we're coming closer to the end of this documentary. I want to leave you with something more important than speculation. I want to leave you with a principle that every good investigator, every honest journalist, and every responsible citizen should remember. Fact first, conclusions second. That principle is what separates a genuine search for the truth from rumors and assumption. Throughout this presentation, I have walked you through a timeline. I have shown you information that I documented before later events unfolded. Remember, intelligence is not evidence. Intelligence is information that leads to evidence. And if you follow it, you will be able to get the evidence. But if you don't, then you also say, boy, if I did know. As a famous detective said, John Gars, him say if anywhere you go and you're investigating any paper, pick it up. Because sometimes the information where you look for, either write on a paper and either write who you want. Yes, meticulous in your investigation. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, it's not the point. The point is that a timeline exists, and timelines are something that investigators evaluate carefully. When experienced investigators examine a serious case, they do not begin by asking, who do I want to blame? No, we don't do that. They begin by asking, who had information? Because that's the person where they want to talk to. Whether or not you want to believe it, several people are under the microscope now, yard and abroad. That question matters because information does not exist in a vacuum. Investigators want to know who knew what and how they came to know it. Then come the next question. When did they receive that information? Timing can change the entire direction of an investigation. Information received before an event is different from information learned afterwards. That is why dates, timestamp, phone calls, phone records, text messages, and document communications are so important. Documents always prove liars to be liars. It's just like how when people say, call and I try muddy the water. Because we're not idiot, and the guy can't pay we are not for sale. I say, yeah man, a Mexican killed Jerome and Ray and Cat and shot Uncle Paul and them thing there. And we say, no, lie that, and I'm a Mexican. No matter how many times you repeat the lie, it's not true. Joseph Goebbels dead more than 70 years ago. I got 80 years. And although the same philosophy or the same mantra where you repeat lies and people believe that all are gullible. But you can't do that. You can't beat me with that. Repeat lies. I trust the police. Police don't get it right all the time, but in this case, they get it right because they have witnesses, eyewitnesses. Whether or not you want to believe it, Uncle Paul in a hot seat, very hot too. And we don't want to do things, and the next thing, most people don't understand it's called obstructing justice in America. Timing can change the entire direction of an investigation. I always remember that. Can the timeline be verified? A claim without documentation is as simple a claim. A documented timeline supported by independent records is something investigators can compare against other evidence. Verification is what transforms information into something that can be tested. Then investigators ask, are there witnesses? And they have many. You have the eyes that don't sleep. That's an eye. These are eyes that never sleep. Yeah, them hiding a lie. Cameras. In America, people never go to court and testify once you have a camera and them thing there. You have the video. Them use that on convict or court. America justice system totally different. In America, police can come testify and they say, yes, just come and identify the people them in a video without any witness and testify based on the video. Then have to come and say, me see you. The police will say, yes, this is Mark, that is Printer, and this is Nigel, and them go on and says, and break it down to you and you're going to prison. You can't beat that case because that I witness in it, the witness I video. Unless you can find somebody who say, doctor it, or shows that you were somewhere else at the time with the time stamps. Independent witnesses can sometimes confirm or contradict what others have said. One person's recollection is useful, but corroboration from additional sources often strengthens or weakens a particular account. Finally, investigators ask, are there digital records? Or we can say digital footprints. Today, so much of our lives leave a digital trail. Messages, phone logs, emails, videos, photographs, and timestamps can all become part of an understanding. What happened? These records do not automatically prove a case, but they can help investigators reconstruct events more accurately. Then use triangulation, because people are going to go with them cell phone and all of them thing there. Just like how with the two brothers them from Senton, where them all, every time people dead, them phone always ping. Or use of unfortunate that time people dead, you all, and then it a show when you leave. You must you pull the trigger. And then, oh, them are innocent you. No, police not do that. But this is America. American police operate differently because them have system. When you go to prison, people make money from you go to prison in America. So when I you want to believe, I don't know if they might go for a death penalty with it, but guess what? The people, the men them pull the trigger, and they want to go to prison unless they want to give up. They are the people them, you understand, the people who send them. And it come from Clarendon to St. Elizabeth. Yeah, politics and all of that to involve in it. And a thief versus thief, drug dealer versus drug dealer. Those records do not automatically prove a case. Timestamp, digital footprint. This is why experienced investigators do not rely on one piece of information in isolation. They seek corroboration. They compare witnesses, statements. They compare timelines. They compare digital records, digital footprints. They compare physical evidence. And only after examining all of those pieces together do they begin forming conclusions. That is how responsible investigations are conducted. Not with emotions, not with lies, telling people lie, misleading, or using social media people because you can pay them for them to tell lies. Yeah man, a Mexican kill them from day one. And when it comes on to that, the person who really behind it is still there, in their midst. You understand? And it's a good thing that we did not release his photograph out there from the get-go. Because we never know the deal, like, say to the arrive right now. So we know that the person who supply is his photograph. Man. And then them say, oh, him thief people coke and go back to Jamaica go higher than them thing there. That I just muddy the water. Inside job. As viewers, we should adapt that same mindset. Independent thinking. Make the evidence speaks. We should not rush to judgment simply because something is repeated often. Always remember Joseph Goebbels. Yeah man, the Nazi propagandize. We should not assume that every rumor is true. At the same time, we should not ignore documented information that deserve careful examination. It's just like how we point and we put the LAPD press release to the public and say, see it here, it's not Mexican that killed Jerome and Cat. People say, oh, you know, do not about Cat. Cat a thief. Cat a thief just like the others them. But the reason is because Jerome is more influential. And Jerome play a bigger part in the drug world in a Clarendon. Some people at Clarendon glad say him dead, I tell you. And at the same time, we should not ignore documented information that deserve careful examination. Documentation matters. Preserving evidence matters. Keeping original records matters. Those principles protect both the innocent and the pursuit of justice. As you leave today's discussion, I encourage you to evaluate the documented timeline for yourself. Look at the dates. Consider what can be independently verified. Think critically about what is known, what remains uncertain, and what still requires further investigation. Serious allegations should never be accepted or rejected without careful examination. They deserve independent verification through lawful investigative processes. That is why responsible people preserve evidence instead of destroying it. Document information instead of relying on memory. And follow investigators to examine all available facts before reaching conclusions. I also want to remind everyone watching, discussion is healthy, but accusation without proof or not. If you choose to participate in the conversation, focus on the evidence and the timeline and the investigative process rather than making claims that have not been established. As we said before, intelligence is not evidence. Intelligence is information that leads to evidence, if you follow it. If this documentary has encouraged you to think more carefully about documentation, evidence preservation, and the importance of following verified facts, then it has accomplished its purpose. Remember, evidence outlasts opinions. Documentation outlasts rumors, and facts remain long after speculation fades. Thank you for watching. If you appreciate the discussion that focus on timelines, documented records, and evidence rather than rumors, support the channel by hitting like, share, hype, leave a thoughtful comment, sharing this video with others, and subscribing for more evidence-based discussion. So, if you have reached the end, man, just type facts over fiction. Have yourself a beautiful day. Jamaica Young Police Channel out.